I'm done, he's going to sing some more. Good morning, everybody. It's so good to be here. Give me just a minute here. Okay. So, I've been processing a lot lately, and Corey and I actually have been talking about it this morning. Len and I just got back from a trip to England. He took me for my birthday. Oh my God. Isn't he sweet? He's a good man. The beautiful thing about it is as we talk about manifesting, creating, doing, being, and truly believing authentically who we are, things happen. He won the trip in a raffle drawing. So, airfare was paid for, room and board was paid for, tours were paid for. The only thing we had to deal with was meals at night, at dinner time if we wanted to. That was my bucket list forever. I've wanted to go to London just to stand on a corner and listen to them talk. I didn't care if I saw anything else, I just wanted to hear them talk. And I got to do that a lot. We had an amazing tour guide. We walked 11 miles every day. Boy, my poor toes were a little messed up. But other than that, and then we get home, and there are no words to describe the experience. Everything was just so magical. I mean, everything. What we saw, what I learned, I didn't know how brutal the British could be back in the day. However, we learned a lot in that regard. But once I got home, we'd been home 5 days, I guess. I think it was about 5 days. And it's 3:30 in the morning on a Wednesday, and I wake up, and I'm feeling a little croupy. And I think, oh, great, I'm back home, allergies are going to kick in. And I got up, and I felt a little bad, but, just went back to bed, and I was kind of sleeping off and on. And I woke up Wednesday morning, and I called my doctor, and I said, I'm not sure, I was going to say an anxiety attack, that too. But it might be allergies or something, I'm not sure. And he said, well, I can send you an antibiotic, but I want you to go ahead and test for COVID. And dang if I didn't have COVID. Now, I have not ever had that. And the shaming part on my end is I had a 95 mask I took with me on the trip, but I never wore it because nobody else was wearing a mask. I thought it was okay. And what I'm hearing now lately is it's more on the plane than anything else, which I can't even fathom. Anyway, for 9 days, I was down. But it was the best 9 days. Not as far as the pain went, a couple of days, but the rest. I'm saying the rest. I did not realize how much I needed the rest. So the people in my galaxy are terrified, heartbroken, and exhausted, scrambling in their minds to figure things out. I want to remind you that figuring it out is not a good slogan, because we're never gonna. So no one has a clue what's going to happen or what should be best. Of course, we want to know how this all shakes down right now. I do too. But I was reminded this morning, some of you may get this, some of you may not, I don't know. But I was reminded this morning of a very old New Yorker cartoon. They're two prisoners in leg chains and manacles, right? Several feet off the ground, sort of hanging on the wall. And one of whom is saying to the other, okay, here's my plan. When the guard comes in with our food, that's the joke. We're going to figure it out. So my plan is not to try and figure it out. What I know, however, is that everyone is exhausted by the nightmare of the last few years. And it's been a challenge. And not just, I've noticed more recently times that, and I can't pinpoint what it is. That's the thing. I can't put a finger on exactly why it is I'm feeling the way I am, but it's been different for me. I'm usually an outgoing kind of person, but I come home after doing yoga or running errands or whatever, and I look at my husband and say, I need to go take a nap. And that's not me. I need to go and take a nap. And from 3 to 5, I'm chilling in the back room. And so I'm not sure, but it's absolutely the worst condition for us to be in. So I dug up and retooled an old piece on dealing with exhaustion that was shared in the hopes that this might help. So I don't know about you guys. I am a caretaker. I'm empathetic. I don't just feel my feelings, I feel everybody's feelings. And I didn't realize that until I really started working on my own stuff. And in the process of determining who I am and my purpose here and all those wonderful things, my purpose is, or my mission, is to ignite, encourage, and amplify authenticity in myself and others. And I do that by creating a space where people can wake up to their own potential. It's time to wake up and do what we're here to do instead of just talking about it. But what I have found recently is that I'm one of those that is just talking about it and not doing it so much right now because I'm exhausted. I don't know about you, but there's a struggle there. So there was this gentleman by the name of Mark Iaconelli. He gave a spiritual retreat to 50 on rising up, on renewal and second winds in these catastrophic times. It's not catastrophic, but it's overwhelming. Thank you. It's overwhelming. That's a great word. It's overwhelming. One woman who worked with children who had AIDS came from Africa to hear his spiritual teachings. Mark talked all morning about filling back up, about energy reserves that are released by curiosity and paradoxically service. Then he handed each participant a blanket and had them lie down for a nap, like in kindergarten. Doesn't that sound cool? The woman from Africa was furious. She went over to him. He's wasting my time. She'd flown 10,000 miles to study with him. He tried to soothe her, but she stalked to the back of the room with her blanket. Everyone stretched out or curled up. They closed their eyes, spaced out, and rested. The woman came over after the nap and told Mark, I slept. I dreamed. I'm beyond exhausted. I didn't even know that. So, you know, we go and we go and we go and we go. And I don't know about you, but myself, I'm a caretaker of 3 right now. Well, 3 and a half, kind of. And so it's not about me. It's about those around me that are in need. And I'm there, man. If they call and ask me to come, I'm there. I am so excited about getting to go spend some time with these people I love, to be there for them if they need me, you know, and just to be present for them. And my aunt, who I called my utter mother, because she was. I mean, my mother died very young, and so this woman was in my life from day one, and she died 3 months ago. And so she was, I think I've mentioned this to you before, she was 88, and she was taking care of her son. Well, she passed. And the son is now in assisted living. And so I've released that, and it's really hard not to be able to go spend time with her now. So there's that grief. And then knowing that her son is in this place, he's in this place. And it was what she never wanted for him. Nobody could take care of that boy like she could. And so he doesn't have anybody around him to visit, so I go and visit when I can. And then I have a friend in Austin that's terminally ill, and I go and be with her when her husband has to go and do some stuff. And it's just been this, yeah, I'm there if you want me, I'm there if you want me, I'm there if you want me. There's no thought about me in the process. Oh man, I so want to be there. I'm great. Yeah, I'm doing good. And then I realized, you know, about 9 o'clock that night, I need to go to bed. So it's interesting that I'm waking up to that more and more. We are exhausted in a brand new way, physically and psychically. We are wiped out by having been such good sports for so long and mustering hope in the face of the way life is showing up right now. We're exhausted by the extreme burdening thoughts. That in itself can wear you out. I don't know about you, but I'm an ongoing thinker. It's nonstop up in here. If y'all got in here, you'd be going crazy. Man, I'm telling you, I got a whole nother life going on up in here. And so it's hard sometimes. We're exhausted by the thoughts, by experiencing, trying to help the extreme suffering and death. There are those that are alone and don't have anybody to help. And so now I haven't been working as much as I have been as a life coach and such. So I've got plenty of time on my hands to help take care of other people. Again, I don't think about myself. Anybody relate to that? Yeah. And it's easy to do. But what's most important, we're all tired of ourselves, not knowing and realizing what we are burdening ourselves with and what we're doing to ourselves. We need fresh horses, but you know what? To paraphrase a past president, we're the fresh horses we are waiting for. Yikes. And you know, that was something that came up for me recently. I don't know why I did this as a kid. It makes no sense, but this is what I did. I might have been about 7 or 8. And I remember sitting there counting on my finger, okay, my grandparents on my dad's side's alive. My grandparents on my mother's side's alive. My aunt and uncles are all alive. I got cousins. All these generations above me are alive, so I'm okay. Well, they're not here anymore. And now it's me. And it's scary. I don't know about you, but I get caught up in that thought occasionally, you know. My mom's not been here for a very long time, but the aunt was the one I was clinging to and holding on to, and now she's gone. And so you got the grief and the awareness of what we're about and what I'm here to do, literally. If I truly believe what I've been taught throughout the last 40 years of my growth, that I really am here to be the one to help others get to where they need to be. But how can I do that if I'm exhausted? How do we do that? That's a good question, isn't it? You always have to start where you are, where your butt is. So my butt, and admit that you are sad and pooped. I'm sad and pooped. I can pretty well tell you that. Because I'm usually outgoing and I'm fun and I love to laugh. Man, make me laugh and I'll be your best friend forever. I have this real dear friend of mine. She and I are running buddies. And she lives in Switzerland half the year. And so Len and I got to go to Switzerland. And he had to head back to work, but I stayed an extra week with her. And we got on the train. And I don't know what it is about her, but we can look at each other a certain way and we'll start giggling, and then we keep giggling harder and harder and harder, and we can't stop laughing. And it's one of those, you have to be there. But I remember explicitly being on the train, and we're sitting there, and we both have our heads down, and we're laughing so hard, and we're trying not to look around because I'm embarrassed. And I look up for a minute, and there's a lady across from us that speaks no English whatsoever, and she's laughing her butt off. She has no idea what she's laughing about, but she is laughing so hard. And I kind of looked at my friend as we giggled, and I thought, well, that's kind of cool. You know, we touched somebody else not even knowing it. But laughter is a big thing. And you need to find things in your life that make you happy. And have you done that lately for yourself? One of the biggest things for me is bubbles. I love bubbles. I've loved them forever. But the biggest time with the bubbles for me was when my mom got sick. She was diagnosed with cancer, and she died 9 months later. And I spent a lot of time up at the hospital with her constantly. I was living with her. I was caretaking her. And it was one of those things that we were both divorced. We were going to grow old together, take care of each other. Well, she and God had another plan. And 9 months later, she was gone. But there was a park right across the street from the hospital, and I would get depressed being in the hospital all day, and so I needed a break. And so one day I decided to go to this, I don't know, I went to a thrift store or something, and I got these bubbles. I got a jug of bubbles and some bubble wands, and I got out there, and I'm just, in my own world doing the bubbles. Well, of course, anytime there are bubbles, kids show up. I don't know. I mean, I was the only one there, and then all of a sudden there's about 15 kids going, can I do it? Can I do it? Can I do it? And I'm going like, okay. So I went out and I bought another set. So I had 2 jugs of bubbles, I had my bubble rings, and I had bubble rings for the kids. And every day I would go out, and that was my meditation time. That was my time of being quiet and having fun, and sitting there watching the kids get involved, and them just being them. And that if nothing else, healed me in a great way, because I was dealing with my own healing, working on my own stuff, losing my mother, life in general. So you got to find ways that can calm you and help you become more aware of who you are authentically, and who you want to be and how you want to show up in the world. And in order to do that, we need to really begin to take a look at how we're going to take care of ourselves. And I know you've heard that over and over again. I mean, my God, I know I keep hearing, you got to learn to take care of yourself. Okay, great, how? Well, I don't know, but you just got to learn to take care of yourself. And I'm going like, okay, you're a lot of help. Thank you very much. I wish I could give everyone a blanket to curl up with today, but most of you have little children or have had, or sick parents, and deadlines to take care of, as you have been saying. It doesn't really help to remind people that this too shall pass. I'm so tired of hearing that. That one, I mean, I get it, but in the moment, it's like somebody is saying, oh, they're in a better place when you lose somebody in your life. But it will, and in the meantime, there are things you can do and not do. The biggest thing is you can try to do less as a radical act. Whoa. Right? Now, something I need to become aware of is when I'm doing less, my habit, and I know it's not a great one, but I have crystals and different gemstones all set up in my bedroom. It's just soothing. It's just a nice, safe place for me. And I automatically go to the back, grab the remote control, hit that button, get my dog on the bed, and I'm set for the rest of the day sometimes, which isn't always the answer. Sometimes it is. The other day, we were going to go do something. I finally looked at him and said, nope, go into the back room, and I'm staying there. Because I could tell that my body really needed, mentally and emotionally, really needed a break from the outside world. So, I'm trying to find my place. Oh, yeah. The world may keep on spinning if you don't manage to buy that pad of graph paper today. Do we still do that, graph paper? Maybe you will need a new packet of moist towelettes soon, but does it really have to be today? Seriously. Toilet paper's another thing, but towelettes, I mean, for sure. I try to let myself do a few things way less perfectly than usual. Now, I have been spoiled, truly spoiled. I mean, there are certain things I do around the house, but this man pretty much takes care of everything because he's one of those that likes to do constantly. And so I let him because that's his choice, and I have no control over it. And so I spend a lot of time outside. He's the bomb on the nature part, growing the plants and keeping up with the yard and stuff, so he's out there all the time, and I'll sit out there if it's not too hot. But I have this beautiful swing chair on our patio in our backyard, and it's where you sit. One part of you sits in this, and then your feet go in the other part of the swing chair, and you get to swing. Yeah, that's kind of like my cocoon. So I go out there, or I walk barefoot in the grass to get that connection with grounding. I mean, I sometimes feel so disconnected from source that's a real important thing to do. I can meditate out in the backyard. Our backyard's my sanctuary. So perfection is the voice of the enemy of the oppressor. I say no a couple of times today to people who need something from me. No is a complete sentence. No. Thank you, but no. So my friend's grandson has a 4th grade class, and they have condiment day every Thursday. Catch up. You had to catch up on some assignments. Mustard, there were things you absolutely must do, things you could not put off any longer. And relish, something that you love doing, something fun or silly, or an activity that brought you pleasure. Relish, joy, and pleasure are one solution to exhaustion just for today. I like that. I got to remember the condiment day. Just one day a week. Do what you got to do. You don't have to do it every day. So walk around the hood, noticing people's gardens, running from them when they come at you with grocery bags heavy with zucchini and tomatoes. Paying attention to real life as opposed to cable news. How many of y'all watch news? Oh, thank you, God. I can't do it anymore. Minute it's 10 o'clock, I look at him and go, I'm going to bed. And I play games on my iPad, or I watch another show or do something, but I can't. I can't do it. And it's really interesting. I never realized this, but I have a habit of talking to the TV a lot. So when there's a certain show on and I'm getting caught up in it emotionally, I'm talking to the TV. And my cousin, when I go stay with her, it's always, Janet, it's just a show. And I said, well, no, it's real to me in the moment because I'm feeling everything that's on that show. And if they're murdering somebody, I'm in it. So anyway, I do that a lot. Paying attention to real life as opposed to cable news relieves exhaustion because it awakens us. It makes us laugh. Laughter is a battery charge. Laughter, once again, is carbonated holiness. I like that. Laughter is carbonated holiness. I mean, when's the last time you really had a belly laugh? Oh, good. Oh, that's awesome. But for some of us, it might have been a while. The older we get, the more consumed we get in stuff that we just automatically just consume stuff that doesn't even, there's nothing we can do about it. And yet we consume ourselves with it. So anyway, the laughter is I think probably one of the most important in any language. Like I said on the train, it was just magical watching that lady laugh when she didn't even know what we were laughing at. We didn't know what we were laughing at either, but she really didn't know. So when I see a friend or a relative who is worn out, I intuitively know what to offer: a cool drink of water, a chair in which to do the sacrament of ploppaging, a bracing cup of coffee or tea, chocolate or a mandarin orange, or a mandatory timeout. Have you ever given yourself a mandatory timeout? I keep thinking these kids got it made. I want to be put in timeout. So I try to help them keep the patient comfortable. And then it reminded me to do this with my own baby self all day. I forget. The minute I get back into my routines and my daily things, that was what was so cool about being in England. It was so different from, I missed home. I missed the fur babies. I missed the peeps. I missed all that. And I was excited about getting back home. But the minute we got back home, I'm going like, I want to go back to England. Because we had more quality time together. We weren't busy off doing our stuff. And we shared things that we both enjoyed so much together and got to share it with each other. It was magical. It was really magical. And so, I mean, there were some things that were just mind-blowing. I mean, we went into St. Paul's Cathedral where Diana got married, and the Queen's chair, we got to sit, see it. And when they show on the news, when they have something major going on, and all the guys are sitting in the rows with those little lamps, we were there. When the choir boys sing, oh my goodness. And the history is, we stood all the people are buried in the floor of St. Paul's Cathedral. I stood on Shakespeare. C.S. Lewis. Yeah, I mean, I'm just sitting there. And then there's one place we went, there's a hole in the wall about this big, and it's from a shell that was shot through the wall during the war, and they purposely left it there. I'm saying I got out of my box. I got out of my comfort zone and my routines and got into an area that I knew nothing about. And I learned about Bloody Mary. Who knew a drink was made after a woman that liked to kill people? I mean, it was all about Bloody Mary. And Queen Elizabeth I and her sister Bloody Mary, they're buried together on top of each other. I mean, there were things that went on that were just magical. And so it was a whole different world. Being in that space and being able to share it with somebody that you care about, laughing, relaxing, having a great time. So it really opened my eyes to that. And what I've noticed now is, how can I do that once I get home? How do I keep that going instead of getting back into the old routines of, and it's not a bad thing. Don't hear that. I mean, I love my life and what we have. It was just so different. So the thing is not to try harder, but to resist less. And sometimes that's difficult in itself. And there's a couple of people, Reverend Kim, when she came and talked at our church one Sunday, that was what she was all about. And then another speaker that following weekend talked about the same thing. So it's about holding our intentions and step into the flow. And the things that you can create and manifest for your life if you allow yourself to be open to it. And how can you be open to it if you're exhausted? Right? Right? Right. The glorious truth is we are very special. And remembering this may just help today. You got to remember, you are a gift. You are a gift to every individual in this room. You are a gift to every individual outside of this building. You are a gift to everybody in the world. And you got to be able to be present to be that gift for others. And how do you do that? You take care of yourself. Yeah. So connecting with you all here at Saxy, it gives me a second wind. It really does. I feel the connection. I love the energy. You guys are so loving. And so the rest of the day is peaceful and relaxing for me, and I want to thank you for that. And this is the best possible news. I thank God for you and your good hearts. Stop and take time to rejuvenate by meditating, by praying, getting out in nature. Find a way to laugh your butt off. Left foot, right foot. Left foot, right foot. Breathe, just for now, which again is all we have. Thank you.